Old Alabama Gardener. In this video, I'm explaining what I am trying to do to try to avoid getting the coronavirus. Now I have to put forth that disclaimer because I'm not a doctor and I can't really tell you what to do to prevent coronavirus or any other disease or illness. I can only tell you what I'm doing and my own personal experiences, and if you decide to do it, then it's your decision, not mine. Now I've been asked to make a video on what I do to avoid getting the coronavirus disease. So one of my viewers says, Deep South Bama with Mr. Tom asked me a question. Says, Mr. Charles, please do a video on what you are doing to prevent COVID. Now, the things that I do to prevent COVID also contribute to being pretty healthy. And so you may already know, but I'm 81 years old. I don't have dementia, and I don't have Alzheimer's disease. I'm out there working in my garden pretty often. Now, it is true, I've been to death's door. The doctors had given up on me. They didn't think I was going to survive. That's quite a number of years ago now, but here I am. Now, to get us started, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think? Is it better to prevent COVID-19 or to treat it or try to cure it when you get COVID-19? Now, it's true, probably most of you is going to say it's better to prevent COVID-19 than to try to cure it. Because when you try to cure it, even though you may survive it, you might have serious organ damage, especially your lungs, that you'll have to deal with for the rest of your life. Now, if you're one of the ones that says it's better to prevent it than it is to try to cure it, and this is true for all diseases, not just COVID-19, I'm going to ask you this question. Are you willing to do all that it takes to prevent having serious disease? Good question, isn't it? Now, when we talk about preventing disease, we really need to separate two things. We need to separate disease from conditions. Preventing disease or preventing conditions. And the reason we need to make that separation is because much of what people call a disease these days is not really a disease. Much of what people are suffering with today is really a condition. Quite a bit of difference, disease versus condition. Now, this idea of disease versus condition is important because the answer to prevention or treatment of a disease is different than the prevention and treatment of a condition. I want to say that again. The treatment of and prevention of a disease is different than the treatment and prevention of a condition. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about conditions. Now you can look this up on the internet at various places, but what you're going to find is that the people of America these days are one of the sickest groups of people on the earth. Now, you may not agree with me, and that's okay. I understand that. You don't have to agree with me. And I don't intend to get into no spitting contest with you either. So let's talk about a little bit more about conditions and disease. So, disease is usually something that you catch from somebody else. You can catch a disease like a cold or like the coronavirus from other people. But a condition is something that you create or you caused in your own body by the things you either did or didn't do for your body. So I'm going to give you now just one example of a condition that people cause in their own bodies, and then it contributes to other things. And there's many, many other examples of conditions. Okay, so let's talk about one. So let me name a condition. And I'm just going to call it being too fat. Okay? And look at those numbers. 42.4% of Americans, adults, are obese. This is as of 2020. Another 32.5% are overweight. So that's almost 75% of adults in America who are overweight or obese. And my source on that was a U.S. News report. So why is this being overweight or being obese, why is it important? And the answer is because being overweight or being obese causes inflammation. That's what I was trying to say. Causes inflammation in your body. And inflammation in your body causes other conditions and diseases, such as the plaque buildup in your arteries or arthritis. A number of different things that inflammation is the root cause of. Now, I wish we had a magic pill. It was one thing that you could do and everything would be okay. But it doesn't work that way. And here's why. So you've probably spent a lifetime getting into the condition that you are now in. So think about this. You didn't get in this condition overnight. And you can't get out of it overnight. So now let's get to some answers. To treat conditions. Conditions are usually caused by lifestyle. So to treat conditions, the thing you got to do is you got to change your lifestyle. That may mean change your eating habits or whatever else you're doing that hurts your body. You see, what you got to do is you got to stop doing things that hurt your body and start doing things that help your body. That's the key to good health. So let me get down to the bottom line here of what this video is all about. And the question was, what do I do to prevent me from getting the coronavirus? And I got to tell you, there's a number of things, but there's one key thing that you almost absolutely have to do, not only to avoid the coronavirus, but to avoid any and all illnesses or diseases, sicknesses. And that answer to that question is to prevent the coronavirus, get your immune system as strong as you possibly can.